John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum released on May 17, 2019, which is just a little over 2 years after the release of Chapter 2. They had almost double the budget of the second one, rocking a $75 million this time around, and it shows in the detailed fight scenes that go down. Honestly, I bet $30 million alone was just spent on glass. This film boasts the longest runtime in the series, running at a total of 131 minutes, and was filmed primarily in New York and Morocco. Despite having the longest runtime in the series, it surprisingly does not contain the most kills. Sporting a 94 kill count, Chapter 3 finds itself in the middle when stacked up against the other two films. However, that lower kill count does not mean the film is lacking in action. Oh no. This shit is crazy! This film introduces knife fights, horses, both as a mode of transportation and a weapon, dog owner-based PvP, Eastern ninja and samurai-influenced fighting styles, and expands on the idea of the Continental Hotel in the universe of John Wick. Let's take a soft look at the plot. This film takes place right where the second one left off, with John fleeing desperately before his excommunicado goes into effect. By having John Wick run out of Central Park, this gave Keanu Reeves the idea to suggest to the director that they should get John Wick on a horse for the third one, and that's precisely what they did. The behind the scenes go into how they developed a whole rigging system, rubberized the roads, and did so much more to capture the shots for the horse running down the streets of New York City. This chapter focuses on new forms of PvP that we have yet to see in John Wick's world, and the opening really focuses on blades. Oh, and I just know that Tony from Hack the Movies really loves this part. John flees the country to track down the person known as the Elder, the one person who is above the high table. So now with the world against him, we find John in Morocco trying to redeem a marker with a former professional acquaintance of his. Their goal is to talk to a former professional acquaintance of hers in order to find out where the location of the Elder is. When we finally meet the guy, it turns out he's a dickbag, and we see the whole plot of John Wick 1 unwinding in John Wick 3, just with John Wick being a bystander this time around. This leads to the best PW DVP scene that I have ever seen. The fuck did I just say? Person with dog versus person. In a way, John's no better than Santino here, because he flew halfway across the world to redeem a marker with someone who was now out of the game and brought her right back into the game, and we see that she is no different than John Wick. She's on par with his skill. So John Wick walks across the desert to find the Elder, while wearing a suit in the sun. Yeah. And then they talk and they start hashing things out. And this is where we can really start to see that consequence is a big theme of this movie. We start to see that the Bowery King has been punished for helping John, severely punished if you ask me, sliced 7 times, and his men are annihilated, and Winston is about to be fired for giving John that leeway of an escape. Meet Black Coin Adjudicator Lady. She speaks for the High Table and enforces its rules. She is also the one who hired assassins to punish the people who helped John Wick. John strikes a deal with the Elder. John will go back to New York and take out Winston and pledges allegiance to the High Table and work as an operator for the rest of his day. Only then he can go on living and remembering his wife, which is his ultimate goal. When John comes back to New York City, we are treated with one of the craziest motorcycle chases ever. They filmed it in such a unique way. You can see in the behind the scenes that they mixed real environment shots with CGI studio shots, and the way they filmed it is unlike anything I have ever seen. You should check it out if you get a chance. John and Winston talk at the Continental, and they decide to go down the fuck the High Table road and bunker down with guns, which in my opinion was the best road to go down because it lets us see what kind of power this High Table was packing, and the first wave scene did not disappoint. Definitely go back and see how John figures out how to kill these fools. The funniest fight scene had to be when John was getting kicked through the glass displays. It was so satisfying to see him return the favor. Talk about a good long shot as well. This fight sequence had zero room for errors. My favorite fight scene in the movie was when the two significantly smaller fighters were fighting John in the glass room towards the end of the movie. I found this to be so well choreographed and a tad comical at times. The two small guys are students of the main villain and get flopped around, and I mean a lot. At times, John kicks them in the chest and they go flying. Upon winning, John does the most stand-up professional gentleman act. He spares them and walks the fuck away to kill their teacher. And the final boss fight does not disappoint. This fanboy of John's wants nothing more than to be the one to end his life, but that doesn't quite happen, as he gets So now that John's killed everyone yet again, the Adjudicator calls for a parlay, and they all meet on the roof. The Adjudicator realizes that Winston was just flexing on the High Table to show how much power he truly has. She then realizes this and turns to the John Wick problem. Winston then shoots him off the roof. Seeing John's body on the pavement, the Bowery King's men scoop him up and bring him into the sewers, where an injured John Wick listens to an injured Bowery King as they close out the movie and set up the next. John Wick 3 has fantastic action, thrilling pace, beautiful beautiful set locations, terrific stunts. It visits new forms of fight styles that we have yet to see in the series, and it leaves us on the edge of our seats as spectators, just imagining the can of whoop-ass he's gonna unleash in the fourth. While it was the longest film in the franchise, I didn't seem to notice due to the suspense I felt while watching it. From the very first scene, John is being pursued, and we are strapped in on a roller coaster ride. This film heavily expands on the world of the Continental, it touches on the origins of John Wick, and it introduces former acquaintances of John's. Though this film is the most beautiful looking one in this series to date, I still find myself being quite fond of the second one more than the third. Be sure to check out the fourth one, dropping Friday, March 24th in theaters everywhere. And be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Thank you guys, this is the one and Dennis signing off. Appreciate you all. Peace!